Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translators Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Tuesday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is March 20th, 2018. Happy spring. And now the news at noon.
Reported by the Durango Herald, all three suspects in a high-profile sexual assault case waived their right to a preliminary hearing Monday and appeared to be in negotiations for a plea agreement. The terms of the plea agreement were not discussed before 6th Judicial District Court Judge William Herringer. All three cases were reset for a court hearing at 10 a.m. May 11th. All three men, Devin Ducky Richard Bond, age 21, Anthony Izzy Israel Fitz, age 18, and James Thomas Zink, age 18, of all of La Plata County, are charged with 3 counts of felony sexual assault and 3 crimes of violence. The charges are related to an incident on October 14, 2017, when the men allegedly threatened a woman with a shotgun and sexually assaulted her. According to police, the woman accepted a ride home from a party from Zink, and the 3 men instead drove around town against the woman's will. Police, who had received a call from a man who had also been in the car earlier and was reporting he had money stolen from him, encountered the car with the men and woman at the Durango Skate Park in the 1300 block of Rusa Avenue and interrupted the alleged sexual assault. Fitz and Zink are out on bail. Bond remains in police custody.
From the Journal, photo Jim Mimiaga. A fire at the Sikis Village Mobile Home Park on Saturday night destroyed a home and sent an elderly couple to the hospital. The fire broke out just before 10 p.m. at 321 South Broadway, Unit 22, and was caused by a woman who dropped a cigarette onto an overstuffed recliner, which erupted in flames, said Sean Biddle, Assistant Fire Chief for the Cortez Fire Protection District. The smoker was using an oxygen tank, which likely fueled the fire. It is an important reminder to never smoke in bed or around flammable furniture or material, Biddle said. Smoking near oxygen tanks is also a dangerous combination. The couple evacuated immediately and were quickly transported by ambulance to Southwest Memorial Hospital. 2 pet dogs were lost. Nearby neighbors were evacuated as 16 firefighters from Cortez and Lewis Areola Fire Department battled the blaze for 2 hours. The Cortez Police Department also responded to the emergency. Fire was shooting out of the windows and threatened nearby vehicles, but did not spread to other structures. Explosions could be heard inside the home during the fire. Biddle said distant access to a fire hydrant initially hampered firefighter suppression efforts. They relied on one from around the block and had to lay 800 feet of line to reach the fire. The couple's daughter, Tammy Lopez, said her mother was transported to a burn unit in Albuquerque. Her father was released from Southwest Memorial. They lost everything, she said.
According to the Cortez Journal, police in Massachusetts say they found more than 4 pounds of marijuana as well as heroin, 2 guns, and more than 200 rounds of ammunition when they arrested 2 Colorado men sleeping in their car. Newburyport police arrested Trayvon McGarity, age 22, and Kahiland Phillips, age 22, just before 5 a.m. Saturday while performing a welfare check. The Newburyport Daily News reports police were called to the scene by a concerned store clerk who thought the men had passed out. McGarity of Moffett, Colorado, and Phillips of Broomfield, Colorado, face multiple drug and weapons charges. 1 gun initially was taken into police custody, the Newburyport Eagle Tribune said, but after a search, police found another handgun, 210 rounds of ammunition, 9 grams of what is believed to be heroin, over 4 pounds of marijuana, a stun gun, and $927 in cash. Neither man was licensed to carry a firearm, according to police. Police say they arrested the men after they saw a handgun in plain view, then searched the car. The pair face arraignment Monday. It could not immediately be determined if they had attorneys.
DCTV News. The town of Dove Creek is holding elections for 4 trustee positions and the town mayor. Running unopposed for the mayoral position is Brett D. Martin for a 4-year term. For the trustees, the 3 people receiving the highest number of votes shall be elected to 4-year terms. The next person receiving the next highest amount of votes shall be elected to a 2-year term. You must be a town of Dove Creek resident to qualify to vote and bring an ID with you to the polling station. You may vote for not more than 4 of the trustee candidates on the ballot. Running this year are Charlotte Miller, Grant A. Allen, Yvonne Boyd, Jeff Carhart, Julie Hemphill, Tori Davis, Levi Garcher, and Rick Gersh. Monday night, March 19th, the town held an open candidates forum and meet and greet afterwards, which was well attended by both candidates and interested citizens. DCTV News at Noon was on hand to stream a live feed to Facebook, which remains available to watch on demand through the DCTV Facebook page for those who couldn't attend. Questions from the audience ranged from how the candidates will deal with cleanup in town and the town ordinance enforcement to what their superpower would be, from what they felt about tourism towards economic growth and opportunities to bringing in larger events to attract people to the town and area, as well as what barriers to growth each candidate would identify. Some of the responses included that Dove Creek's challenges were to be blamed on the isolation of the area, though this has also been identified as a plus for many of why they like to live here. All agreed that the dilapidation of the town is something that needs to be addressed if we are to attract new businesses or new residents, and that the town needs to become better known if we are to actively pursue attracting more growth. Mr. Martin addressed his mayoral strategy to bring together the board to be working for those who elect them, and that growth must be managed and tempered so as not to outpace the capacity of infrastructure and the like. The long-standing contradiction of growth, no growth, or change, no change, was brought up, with some people wanting things to change in order to keep the children and youth involved and able and wanting to stay in the area, while at the same time people not wanting anything to change. The only candidate to put out a specific agenda item was Rick Gersh, who was unable to attend but submitted a written statement to DCTV stating, "My platform for running for a trustee position is to change the town's policy on OHV use to allow licensed drivers to have the privilege of using their OHV on city streets. I know there are many other things involved with the town, but that will be my foremost goal." There is still time to reach out to the candidates if you have questions about how they will best represent you as a town trustee. DCTV and the Dove Creek Press are working on setting up a county-level candidates forum to be held later this spring, as those elections will happen in November. This town election is by ballot to be brought into the polling location, which is the town office, Tuesday, April 3rd, 2018.
According to the Durango Herald, a Durango woman who was riding as the passenger on a motorcycle that was involved in a fatal crash Saturday in Bayfield was listed in critical but stable condition Tuesday morning, according to a spokeswoman at St. Anthony's Hospital. Dawn Dupuis and her husband Jason were headed east on U.S. Highway 160 around 12:30 p.m. on a 2007 Harley-Davidson when a 2010 Subaru Forester traveling west made a left turn at the Eight Corners intersection in Bayfield. Jason Dupuis, age 48, also of Durango, was pronounced dead at the scene. Dawn was taken to Mercy Regional Medical Center with critical injuries and was eventually flown to St. Anthony's in Lakewood for further care. According to friends, Dawn, age 53, suffered multiple injuries and must undergo surgery, but she is stable and coherent and is expected to make a full recovery. She is joined at the Front Range Hospital by family and friends. A GoFundMe campaign has been started for the family to help with medical costs. Judy Lewis, a friend, said the Lupus family is well known in Durango. She said both Donna and Jason grew up in the area and have 2 teenage daughters that attend a local high school. Lewis said Jason had several jobs over the years in the area, including at Ted's Rental and Sales. She said Dawn used to work at April's Garden, but is currently employed by H&R Block as a receptionist. And now let's take a look at the weather.
The National Weather Outlook. The big story here is the continuing storms pummeling the eastern coast. From AccuWeather reporting, they say as the storm over the Ohio Valley begins to weaken, a new storm will develop and strengthen along the mid-Atlantic coast during Tuesday night and Wednesday. As this coastal storm moves northeastward, snow will spread farther to the north along the coast from later Tuesday night to Wednesday. This is when heavy, slushy accumulation of snow is most likely to occur around Philadelphia and New York City, and for the snow to finally reach Boston. In terms of wind, this will not be a powerhouse storm like the nor'easters that struck earlier this month. However, in some spots, Moderately strong winds are in store for a longer duration when compared to each of the 3 earlier storms. Residents in the burn areas around California are being put on alert for major mud flows and flooding as the start of spring is expected to coincide with the return of rain across the state. After a dry start to the week, a new storm will spread across most of California on Tuesday. Rain, mountain snow, and gusty winds will also spread across the northwest during this time, but California will face the greatest hazards to lives and property. Regionally speaking, snow will linger across Colorado's northern and central mountains today and tonight, bringing an additional 1 to 3 inches of snow. The next chance for significant accumulating snow arrives Wednesday night and could potentially bring prolonged periods of rain and snow to the area into Friday. The DCTV 5-day outlook. Today, mostly sunny with a high near 47. East winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming southwest in the afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 28. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming southeast in the evening. Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 57 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 15 miles an hour becoming southwest in the afternoon. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 37. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming south-southeast in the evening. And Thursday, mostly cloudy with a high near 65 degrees. South-southwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. Thursday night, a 30% chance of showers moves in mainly after midnight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 44 degrees. And then Friday, we have the chance of showers before 9 a.m., then a chance of showers and thunderstorms between 9 a.m. and noon, and a chance of showers in the afternoon. Mostly cloudy with a high near 57 degrees and breezy, as they say. Chance of precipitation is 40% right now. Friday night, a slight chance of rain showers mixing with snow after 11 p.m. and then gradually ending partly cloudy with a low around 33 degrees. Saturday, we go back to mostly sunny with a high near 56. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around 28, again breezy. Sunday, sunny with a high near 50 degrees. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 25. And now, back to the news.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, federal scientists are trying to decide if it's time to let the big dogs out. Nearly 120 dogs from 3 large breeds perfected over centuries in Europe and Asia to be gentle around sheep and children, but vicious when confronting wolves, recently underwent a study to see how they'd react to their old nemesis on a new continent. The dogs were gathered as puppies in Portugal, Bulgaria, and Turkey and sent to the American West, where they spent 4 years guarding sheep. When we were first looking at doing this, a lot of people wanted to know, what dog do I use in dealing with wolves and grizzly bears, said Julie Young, a Utah-based research biologist with the U.S. Agriculture Department's National Wildlife Research Center. The department looked to areas where dog breeds developed to guard sheep against wolves and brown bears. Then scientists supplied Cão de Gado transmontanos, a large, though lean and agile dog developed in the mountainous region of Portugal, Caracachans, developed by nomadic sheep herders in the mountainous area of Bulgaria, and Kongals, another powerful breed with an instinct for guarding, this one originating in Turkey. Dogs from all 3 breeds can weigh up to 140 pounds, about the size of a wolf. The dogs were sent to guard 65 herds in Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Washington, and Oregon. Scientists are still analyzing information from notes, remote cameras, and GPS collars, Young said, with 4 or 5 scientific papers expected in the next year. But overall, she said the dogs did well keeping away wolves and better than traditional guard dogs at deterring coyotes. For decades, most U.S. sheep producers have used large white dogs such as Great Pyrenees, Akbash, or Maremma sheepdogs. Light brown Anatolian shepherds are also used. Young said the study found wolves left areas when sheep bands, dogs, and herders arrived, but their absence emboldened smaller predators such as coyotes. Ranchers can call the Agriculture Department's Wildlife Services to kill wolves that attack livestock. Environmentalists, though, have been working to reduce the need for that and see guard dogs as one solution.
From the Durango Herald, Photo CPW, people in Durango are building illegal trails in closed areas that are critical winter habitat for wildlife, and is causing an issue for land managers, wildlife officials, and trail advocates that can't rein in the long-standing problem. We're not talking small connector trails, said Shannon Borders, spokeswoman for the Bureau of Land Management. We're talking miles of illegally built trails, and it's not like there's not a ton of recreational opportunities around town. Rogue trails constructed on public lands is not a new problem, but the most recent spike started when the BLM's Tres Rios office updated its resource management plan in 2015. The plan, which covers 8 counties in southwest Colorado across 503,000 acres of BLM managed lands, seeks to balance commercial, recreational, and environmental uses. As part of the process, the BLM was tasked with including a separate travel management plan, which identifies what routes are open to hiking, mountain biking, motorized vehicles, and other uses. When planning began in 2015, the BLM included all existing routes in its inventory, 2,500 miles of roads and trails. But people who wanted to include more trails in the travel management plan without going through the proper BLM process started building the illegal trails, especially around Durango, Borders said. The BLM has a process for proposing new trails, which includes an extensive environmental analysis and a process that can take a few years. Over the past 3 years, miles of unapproved trails have cropped up around Durango, particularly in the Animas City Mountain and Grandview Trail networks, said Tyler Foss, a BLM law enforcement ranger. While the trails are considered mixed use, the routes appear to be mostly constructed and used by mountain bikers. At Animas City Mountain on the north end of Durango, for instance, a 3.5-mile trail known locally as Sick Bird was built mostly for mountain bikers. And Faust said there are at least 3 to 4 other illegal trails at Animas City Mountain. The BLM and other agencies treat the illegally built trails as a criminal case of trespass, but it's tough to find perpetrators. Since 2015, no one has been caught in connection with building illegal routes. The trails are also being built and used in closed areas. Every year, the BLM cordons off areas that are critical winter habitat for wildlife from December 1st to April 15th, and every year, people disregard the closures. With only one ranger for Durango, enforcement can be difficult. Mary Monroe, executive director of Trails 2000, a local trail advocacy group, said the BLM's travel management plan is the best and most effective way to inventory all the trails and identify missing links. Monroe said Trails 2000 never condones people taking trail building into their own hands. The problem extends beyond BLM lands. The U.S. Forest Service last fall discovered an illegal mountain bike trail near Hermosa Creek Campground in a special management area protected by law. Forest Service staff and volunteers went out in June to eliminate the route by spreading shrubs, rocks, and trees along the path. No one has been caught in connection with the illegal act.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Colorado State Forest Service and La Plata Conservation District will accept applications until April 6th from Southwest Colorado residents for more than 40 varieties of trees and shrub seedlings. The program requires that seedlings be used for conservation purposes only. Colorado State University Extension offices and county conservation districts in the state supply seedling trees to about 5,000 Colorado residents each year. Seedlings were grown at the Forest Service nursery in Fort Collins and will be distributed in La Plata County in late April. To complete applications and submit to La Plata Conservation District online, visit laplatacd.org.
From the Journal, photo Stephanie Alderton. The Mancos Creative District plans to open its first workshop for artists and students this spring. Since it was founded in 2016, the Creative District has hosted regular classes and workshops through the Mancos School of the West. But because the organization doesn't own any property, it has always used existing artists' studios and other buildings. Now, the Board of Directors has leased a structure from Alpaca Rafts that it hopes to transform into an outdoor makerspace by mid-April. Right now, the structure is a shed with a collapsing roof and aging support beams located behind the Alpaca Rafts headquarters at 192 South Main Street. Last year, the Creative District held several workshops in another shed on Alpaca property, which is in much better shape, but board member Rena Wilson said the organization needs its own long-term location. She said Sherry Tingy, co-owner of Alpaca Rafts, offered to give the district directors a lease on the other shed provided they paid to fix it. "We don't have any place at all of our own yet," Wilson said. It sounded like a good idea. In fall of 2017, that idea came closer to reality when the district received a $12,000 core value grant from the Ballantyne Family Fund, which would cover the estimated cost of repairs provided by local contractor Bradley Hosel. Proceeds from this weekend's Mancos Melt event will also go towards the project to cover any unforeseen expenses and possibly pay for more construction in the future. While fixing the roof is her top priority, Wilson said she would also like to provide electricity to the makerspace and possibly put up a sign that could be seen from the library next door. She said she would also like to install bathrooms in a smaller adjoining shed that is also part of the lease, but Hosel said that the shed would also require extensive renovations, including a new roof. The contractor, who is also working on a new design headquarters for Alpaca next door, said he expected repairs on the makerspace to take about 2 weeks. We're doing a very simple structural fix-up, he said. Because the district has only a 5-year lease on the property, Wilson said the board of directors has no plans to do major construction there yet. If the district ever gets its own permanent headquarters, the makerspace may no longer be necessary. But in the meantime, she said many of the district's workshops and events would benefit from being held outdoors. It's going to be great for Mancos School of the West workshops, she said. We've got several outdoor type classes that can be held there. It may not look pretty itself, but the shed overlooks the scenic Mancos River and the nearby walking bridge. Wilson said it will be perfect for plein air painting classes, willow weaving workshops, and blacksmithing demonstrations. She said she hopes to open the makerspace in time for the district's first workshops on April 14th.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of March 12th through the 18th. A report of a suspicious vehicle on Highway 141, an officer responded, and everything was okay. An officer participated in the town board meeting on 3/15/18. The sheriff's office received a call from a concerned citizen for a family member. An officer spoke to the concerned citizen and was able to offer assistance. A caller reported damage to a trailer. The case is under investigation. There were a few requests for fingerprinting during the week. An officer completed the fingerprints. The sheriff's office received a report of firecrackers thrown at a local establishment. This case is under investigation. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. See David Michael Miller and the Other Sinners at the Intimate Sunflower Theater at KSJD Thursday, March 22nd at 7 p.m. A sweet blend of blues, gospel, Americana, R&B with a splash of cayenne pepper. This is what David Michael Miller and his band Miller and the Other Sinners bring to the table. Tickets are $12. March 24th, David Daniel Dennis live at Mancos Brewing Company. From 6 to 9 p.m., David Daniel Dennis plays electric folk, extraterrestrial blues, cosmic country, psychotropic gospel. Sounds like a great time. March 29th, cleanup at Big Point, hosted by the Southwest Colorado Canyons Alliance. Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Love your public lands and can't stand the messes some people leave behind? Then come out on March 29th with University of Missouri students as they volunteer their way through alternative spring break. They will be cleaning up clay pigeons from target practice and reclaiming a road closure. Send a private message or email to swcocanyons@gmail.com for the specifics of the day. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. And don't forget the replay of the town forum for the candidates. To share your event or information, contact us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 970-677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.